everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you had a really good Christmas. Today I'm bringing you a best in beauty video, and that just means I've gathered up all of my favourite products from the year and I've just divided them into categories. If you've been following me for a while or if you read my blog, then a lot of these products will sound familiar. So I'm going to jump right into it and start off with makeup. The first category I have is foundation, and of course this is the Kiko Universal Fit Hydrating Foundation. I wear this in the shade Warm Beige 90. I think it's such an underrated product. It is the perfect match to my skin tone. It lasts all day, it provides great coverage. It's not full coverage, it's a liquid foundation, so it provides light to medium. It is buildable, but I don't like that cakey look, so it's a fab foundation for everyday use. Next I have my Bobbi brand corrector, and this is in the shade Deep Peach. I don't know where I'd be without this corrector. I wear it every single day. It just cancels out all the dark tones under my eyes and preps it for concealer application. Speaking of concealer, my favourite concealer is the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer, and I wear this in the shade Caramel. Again, I've never ever found another concealer that just matches my skin tone as well as this one does, and the combination of these two, the corrector and the concealer, is just amazing. It gets rid of all the darkness under my eyes and I'm just in love with it. This next product does fit into the concealer category, although I use it as a highlight, and I have been loving the Maybelline Eraser Eye concealer in the shade Nude. Of course this is not the right shade for my under eye area at all, but I just use it to highlight, so I put it on top of my concealer, do the upside down triangle and just blend it all out, and I love the shade of this. I just think it's amazing, and if they had more shades available in this range I would definitely be picking it up. The formula of this is amazing. Moving on to setting powder, I still haven't quite figured out if I prefer a pressed powder or a loose one, but I've been loving this Catrice Nude Illusion Transparent Matte setting powder, and this is just fab. I generally only use powder to set my concealer under my eyes. I find that a lot of them actually enhance the greyness and just make my under eye area look quite ashy. This one doesn't do that, so I'm loving it. I kind of wish it came as a pressed powder because then I feel I'd be able to see which one of the two that I prefer, but I'm really enjoying this at the moment. Next up for brows, I'm loving the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow Pomade in dark brown. I literally just use this. I hardly use anything else. If I'm in a hurry, I'll use a brown mascara or sometimes a pencil, but I'm loving this gel pomade. And I think once I've completely run out, I would like to try the next shade up because sometimes I feel that it can be a little bit too light on me. For contour, I always use this Sleek Contour Kit in light. As you can see, there's barely any product left. I've hit pan on it ages ago, and again I've got my back up. I don't really like the highlight. It's way too frosty on me and it's just not a shade that suits me at all. And the same goes for the blush. It's very shimmery, but the contour shade is just amazing. I kind of wish that it just sold the contour shade on its own. I know they do a duo with the highlight, but they're really hard to find, so I just have the triple pack. For my highlight, I actually have two separate products. I used to use the MAC Strobe Cream years ago and not really know what it was for. This was well before the contour and highlight hype, but I repurchased this earlier this year and I'm loving it. I don't like it as a moisturiser, I don't like it as a primer, I don't like it when I mix it in with my foundation. I just find that it kind of takes the foundation away, it doesn't stay put on my skin as well. I literally just use the tiniest amount and just pat it on the tops of my cheekbones, under my brow bone and anywhere else that I want to highlight on my face. I do that after my moisturiser or after a primer if you're also wearing a primer. I don't always do that, and before my foundation. I don't like mixing it, so that's how I like to use this one. And for my powder highlight, there is none other than the Balm Mary Lou-Manizer. I can't believe it took me so long to finally try this, and I love this highlight. I actually dropped this earlier when I was getting all my things ready to film, and it's kind of still in one piece, but I'm just going to cross my fingers. I love this highlight. I feel like it is going to go a really long way. You just need the tiniest amount. It's really highly pigmented. I've got it on today. I wear it most days and it's a beautiful shade. It's almost, I know everyone will say this, but it is really buttery. It doesn't feel powdery. It doesn't look chalky or any of that. So it's just a gorgeous highlight. For my blush, I actually found this Bobbi Brown blush in the shade Rose, and it's number 3. I don't know if they still make this. This is so old, but I just found it at the bottom of my collection. I was shopping my stash, if you like, and I love the shade of this. It's just perfect. I've literally used nothing else up until maybe a couple of months ago when I bought a Smashbox blush, which is basically the same shade. I love these sort of dusty rose, mauvey, pinky shades that, I mean, they're pink, but they have a lot of brown undertone in them. I think they complement my skin tone amazingly, and it's just a gorgeous blush. Spoiler alert, when I get onto lipsticks, you'll notice a little bit of a pattern, but I won't ruin it just yet. For my eyeshadow primer, of course it has to be the Urban Decay Primer Potion. Nothing else on the market compares to this. I think I've reviewed this on my blog before as well. It's an amazing primer, long lasting, doesn't crease, doesn't budge. It does everything it's supposed to do, and it just lasts forever as well. I have two different types of eyeliner. I don't normally wear liquid liner, but if I do wear eyeliner on the top, it's always gel and it's always Blacktrack by MAC. I love this liner, and Maybelline do a really, really good dupe for that. And yeah, it's long lasting, doesn't need touching up, and it dries matte. It's beautiful, I just love it. For my pencil liner, this is always a favourite. This is the Lancome Kohl Hypnose Waterproof Pencil. I have it in the shade 01 Noir, which is black, and brown as well. This is the only eyeliner pencil that I'm not allergic to. I've tried so many other brands, both high-end and drugstore, and if the minute I put it inside my eye on my waterline, or if I try to tightline with it, it just really irritates my eyes. But this one doesn't do any of that, and I love it. My favourite mascara, of course, has to be the Maybelline Lash Sensational. I love this mascara. I'm sure you all know about my eyelash issues by now. They just don't curl. This one just holds a curl much better than any other mascara that I've ever tried. It doesn't give me volume, it doesn't really give me length, but I just like the way it separates my lashes. It coats them all really evenly, and I also use it on my bottom lashes because I find that it doesn't transfer. And it's quite easy to apply because it has this curved wand with different length bristles, so I find it really easy just to get in under my eye and it doesn't transfer, and it's great. I also have two eyeshadow favourites. My first one won't come as any surprise to you if you read my blog. It's the Smashbox Full Exposure Palette. I think these eyeshadows are highly pigmented, amazing quality. There's 14 eyeshadows in this palette, 7 are matte, 7 are shimmers. This year I found myself reaching for neutral shadows way more than all the bright, bold colours that I used to do in the past, and I just think this palette is amazing. It does also come with a brush. I'm not a big fan of the brush, and I haven't got it on me to show you. My second favourite palette is, of course, the Tarte Look palette. I love all the shades in this palette. Again, they're all quite neutral, pretty safe, but they've also got some. There was one shadow in this palette that was slightly broken, and I think that little bit's just fallen off. I actually got my cousins to buy this for me when they were in America, and it's just amazing. I love the fact that, again, you can build up quite a neutral eye to a really smoky look. All the eyeshadows are kind of grouped together for somebody that's not really into makeup and they just want to experiment, which is really, really great. There's also a black shade, which is amazing, and they're all matte shades. They do take a little bit of blending, but all matte shadows do that, and I just think that this is just a gorgeous palette. In fact, I've seen that the second one came out a few weeks ago, and I'm just dying to get my hands on it. I love this. It was so hard to pick a favourite palette, I just couldn't pick one, it had to be two, but yeah, if you're in the market for eyeshadow, these two are just fabulous. My favourite lip balm has to be the Dr. PAWPAW. I have a full blog post reviewing this product, it's just amazing. Up until I discovered this, I'd never found a lip balm that worked. I mean, it felt like it would work on the surface, and the next day my lips would be really chapped again, and that would be without me wearing lipstick. This has just been a complete saviour, and yeah, I love it. Now, lipsticks is a category that I also struggled with. I mean, I had to divide it up into nudes and bold colours because otherwise it was just going to be impossible. Even when I did that, I still have 4. So I didn't do that well, but I didn't do that badly considering how many lipsticks I actually do have. I'm going to start off with the nudes, and I've got 3. They are kind of all the same colour, but my ultimate favourite lipstick, which is just perfect for every day. It's perfect for a bold eye, it's perfect for a no makeup day, is MAC Mare. I know it's famous because Kylie Jenner wears it, or she said she wore it, I'm not really too sure, but I, again, just love this shade, and of course it's the same shade as my blusher. This was sold out for so long because so many people were after this shade, and I can totally see why. It's a gorgeous shade, and I think this is actually my second tube of it. So my next lipstick favourite is actually a relatively new purchase, but it's also a very similar shade. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Kissing Lipstick in Stoned Rose. Very similar shade to Mare, but this, unlike Mare, is not a matte shade. Very moisturising, very long lasting, as they both are. It's not quite as pinky as Mare. It's got a little bit more of a brown undertone, so it's a very good My Lips But Better almost shade. My last favourite nude is this Sephora Cream Lip Stain. This is in the shade 13. This is the perfect dupe. I couldn't really call it a dupe because I have a feeling it's exactly the same price, or roughly the same price, but this is basically MAC Mare in liquid form. I've seen no difference whatsoever, and they do the exact same thing. They're both really long lasting, and I love them both. It just depends on whether I fancy a normal lipstick or a liquid one. And this one dries matte too. From the same range, the Sephora lip creams are just amazing. They'll last all night long, they won't require any touch-ups, and this is in the shade 01. Perfect. My favourite setting spray has to be the Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray. This is amazing. It makes your makeup last forever. It's sweat-proof, dance-proof, your makeup stays forever. It's amazing. Thought I'd show you some of my favourite tools. Now, of course, I've got a lot of brushes and I like a lot of them, but the three that really stand out in particular are two foundation brushes and another one that I'll show you in a minute. So this year I bought my first Sigma brush. This is the Sigma F80. It's a flat top kabuki foundation brush. I did used to have another flat top kabuki, but it was a lot bigger. I really like the size of this. It's perfect for getting around the nose area, almost under the eye area too. Of course, you won't be able to get into the inner corners, but it's just a great size for a brush. I'm sorry that all my brushes are really dirty. I just haven't had a chance to clean them yet, but I just love the way that it applies my makeup. And the same goes for this. This is the Sephora own brand multitasker complexion brush that I bought in Italy a few months ago. I love this for foundation application. I know that it's a multitasker brush, and so you could use it for powder or things like that, but like I said, I barely wear powder. It's just literally just to set my under eye concealer. It's really easy to work around the contours of your face. It's really cheap as well, actually. My eyeshadow blending brush of choice was always the MAC 217, and this year I just thought, you know what, I need to try a different one, and everyone needs to talk about the MAC 224, and I think it's changed the way that I blend forever. For some reason, I always used to find the 217 a little bit scratchy, and I don't know why that was. It is a great brush, don't get me wrong, but there's just something about the 224 that is different. And I know that it's slightly tapered, it's a lot fluffier, it's not as densely packed, which means it's great for blending. And yeah, I think this just changed the way that I do my eyeshadow, and I love this brush. At the beginning of the year, I was introduced to the Lizelle Cleanse and Polish. I know, I don't know where I'd been. This just changed the way that I cleanse my face. I loved everything about it. I actually got given a sample size when I went to BeautyCon, which I think was back in February, and I've been using the muslin cloths for a long time because you can buy them separately, but this just changed the way that I view my whole skincare routine, I guess. My favourite eye cream has been the Estée Lauder Advanced Night Repair. I just find that I can really feel this working almost. I find that with most eye creams, you could go for a really long period of time without knowing if they're actually doing anything, but with this one I find that it really hydrates my under eye area. I wake up with like really plump, soft skin, and I mentioned recently in a blog post that I actually sleep on my front, so I'm a bit reluctant to wear eye cream during the night because a lot of the times it will get into my eye. I'm a really weird sleeper, but with this one I've had no issues, and I love that it absorbs really quickly. It is a little bit on the pricey side, but I do feel like skincare is really worth the investment. But that's it. That concludes my favourites for the year, or my beauty hall of fame if you like. If there's any products that you think that I may have missed, then please let me know. There's a chance that could have happened, and also if you've tried tried any of these products, then please leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think, because don't forget, what works for me may not necessarily work for you. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great New Year's Eve, however you choose to celebrate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next year. Bye!